Buying a house with $0 down sounds like a myth, something you would only hear in a late-night infomercial, but there are real and widely discussed strategies that people use every single day to get into real estate without a large pile of cash sitting in a savings account. Today, we are going to walk through exactly how those strategies work, who they tend to work best for, and what the real risks are, because every single one of these paths comes with trade-offs that nobody puts in the headline. This is financial education, not personal financial advice. And before you make any big decision about a mortgage or a property purchase, you should talk with a licensed real estate professional or a financial advisor who can look at your full situation. Let us start with the most well-known path, which is a government-backed loan program. In the United States, there are loan types built specifically to lower the barrier to homeownership. FHA loans, backed by the Federal Housing Administration, are widely discussed for allowing down payments as low as 3.5% of the purchase price, which is not technically zero, but it is a fraction of the 20% that many people assume is required. Then there are VA loans, available to eligible veterans and active service members, which are widely known for allowing qualified borrowers to purchase a primary home with no down payment at all. And there are USDA loans backed by the United States Department of Agriculture, designed for buyers purchasing in eligible rural and some suburban areas, which can also allow no down payment for qualifying borrowers. These programs exist because the government has decided that expanding home ownership access is a public benefit, and they come with their own rules around credit history, income limits, property location, and mortgage insurance costs that you will want to research carefully. Now, let us talk about a strategy called house hacking, which has become incredibly popular among younger buyers and first-time investors. House hacking means you buy a property, usually a small multi-unit building like a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, live in one unit yourself, and rent out the other units to tenants. Because you are living in the property, you can often qualify for the same low down payment owner-occupied loans we just talked about, even though part of the building functions as a rental. The rental income from your tenants can help cover your mortgage payment, sometimes covering most or even all of it, which means your actual out-of-pocket housing cost drops dramatically while you build equity in a real asset. Next, let us discuss seller financing, sometimes called owner financing. In this arrangement, instead of borrowing money from a bank, you borrow directly from the person selling the property. The seller acts like the bank. You agree on a purchase price, an interest rate, and a payment schedule, and you make payments directly to them over time. Because there is no traditional mortgage lender involved, the down payment terms are entirely negotiable between you and the seller. Some sellers, particularly those who own a property outright and want steady monthly income rather than a lump sum, are open to structuring deals with little or no money down, especially if you can demonstrate reliability, provide references, or offer a slightly higher interest rate in exchange for flexible terms. This strategy depends heavily on finding a motivated seller who is comfortable with this kind of arrangement, so it is not something you can plan around for any specific property, but it is widely discussed in real estate investing circles as a legitimate path. Related to seller financing is a concept called subject to investing, where a buyer takes over the existing mortgage payments on a property without formally assuming the loan through the bank. The property title transfers to the buyer, but the original loan stays in the seller's name, and the buyer simply makes the payments going forward. This can allow a buyer to acquire a property without needing to qualify for a brand new mortgage, which can be appealing for buyers with less established credit. However, this strategy carries real legal and financial complexity, including something called a due on sale clause that most mortgages contain, which technically allows the lender to demand full repayment if the property changes hands without their approval. Anyone considering this approach should absolutely consult with a real estate attorney first. Another widely discussed path is partnering with a private money lender or another investor. In this model, you find someone with capital who is willing to fund the down payment or the entire purchase in exchange for a share of the profits, a portion of the rental income, or a fixed interest return. This could be a family member, a friend, or a private lending network that specializes in real estate deals. The core idea is that you bring the deal-finding skills, the management, and the time, while your partner brings the capital. These partnerships can work beautifully when expectations are written down clearly in a formal agreement, and they can fall apart quickly when they are based only on a verbal handshake, so documentation matters enormously here. Let us also mention down payment assistance programs, which exist at the state, city, and sometimes even employer level across the United States. Many of these programs offer grants or low-interest second loans, specifically designed to cover some or all of a buyer's down payment and closing costs, often targeted at first-time buyers, teachers, healthcare workers, veterans, or buyers in specific income brackets. These programs are widely underused simply because many buyers do not know they exist. A quick search through your state's Housing Finance Agency website is often the fastest way to discover what is available in your area. For those interested in more hands-off approaches, there is also the strategy of wholesaling, where an investor puts a property under contract at a low price and then sells that contract to another buyer for a fee without ever actually purchasing the property themselves. This does not result in the wholesaler owning real estate, but it is often the entry point many investors use to learn the market, build a network of buyers and sellers, and eventually accumulate enough capital to make their own zero or low money down purchases later. Now, an honest conversation about the risks, because these strategies are not free of downsides. Lower down payments generally mean higher monthly mortgage insurance costs, higher overall interest paid over the life of the loan, and less equity cushion if property values decline. Seller financing and subject to deals can carry legal risks if not properly documented. Partnerships can create conflict if profit sharing is unclear, and house hacking means becoming a landlord with all the responsibilities that come with managing tenants, maintenance, and vacancies. None of these strategies eliminate risk, they simply shift where the risk sits, and understanding that trade-off is essential before pursuing any of them. One thing that consistently shows up across almost every one of these strategies is the importance of your credit profile. Whether you are applying for an FHA loan, a VA loan, or trying to convince a private lender to trust you with their capital, a strong and well-documented credit history makes every single door easier to open. Lenders and private partners alike want to see a track record of responsible payment behavior, and even small improvements in your credit score can affect the interest rate you are offered, which over a 30-year mortgage can mean tens of thousands of dollars in savings or cost. If you have never checked where you currently stand, monitoring your credit profile regularly is one of the simplest habits you can build before attempting any of the strategies we discussed today. There is a link in the description and in the blog post below to a service that offers an incredibly low-cost trial for exactly this kind of credit monitoring, and it is worth checking out if you are serious about positioning yourself for a future real estate purchase. To bring this all together, buying real estate with little or no money down is absolutely something people do successfully, but it almost always involves trading cash for something else, whether that is a government-backed loan program, a landlord role through house hacking, a direct relationship with a seller, a partnership with a private investor, or simply patience while you search for down payment assistance you qualify for. There is no single button you press to make this happen, but there is a well-worn path that thousands of buyers have walked before you. Start by understanding your credit standing, research the loan programs available in your state, and think honestly about whether becoming a landlord through house hacking fits your lifestyle. Real estate remains one of the most widely discussed paths to building long-term wealth in this country, and understanding these entry strategies is the first step toward deciding if one of them is right for you. If you found this breakdown useful, please consider subscribing to Yield Report Daily for more videos exactly like this one, where we break down personal finance topics in plain, simple language so you can make informed decisions about your own money. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.